Imagine for a second, you are a hacker looking for a security hole to exploit, running an automated script trying to pick low-hanging fruit, and finding an open port to exploit. And then you find something, an open SSH port. Your script starts exploiting and you think you're golden, but in reality you're trapped in an endless message that just keeps repeating and wasting your time. Hey guys, and welcome to this exciting episode of Tech with Nick. I'm your host Niklas, and today I'm going to show you how you could trap hackers inside your server. It will only take a few minutes to set up, but will waste hours for the hackers. And it will teach you a few things about SSH and how to use it safely. Let's get started. So what exactly is a honeypot? Well, a honeypot, as the name suggests, is where you purposely expose something as a trap without the hacker knowing it, and it's often referred to as a decoy target that's deployed in your production environment, designed to look like a real target, sometimes even with files and documents, so the hacker thinks this is the real system. The reason honeypots are used is to either direct an attacker away from something you want to protect on your server, or to gather intelligence as to how the attacker would do once they gained access. This way you can log IPs and gather insight into how the attacker would behave in your system, so you can protect it from any future attacks. I'll show you how you can use a simple SSH honeypot, but instead of giving access, the attacker will think he got the access, while in reality we will just waste his time. As some hackers use an automated program to gain access to SSH, this will wait a lot of his time, could be hours, where his program will just stay frozen. So let me jump on the computer and show you exactly how to do this right now. To create this SSH honeypot, we're going to use Endlessh, which is an open source project right here on Git. So the way this works, keeps your SSH client locked up by sending a line for line flag, and this could keep going on for days. It's very simple to set up, and I'll show you just how to do that right here. Alright guys, so first step is to use SSH into your Ubuntu server. So type SSH, your username, and the IP address. Inside here, the first thing we need to do is make a copy of your existing SSH config file. We'll do that with this command. When that's done, we need to change the port number SSH is running on. So open up your SSHD config file. Find this line where it says port 22, remove the pound sign and add a new port. I'll just use 2222, Control X and a Y for yes, and save this file. If you're using your Ubuntu 22 or 23, you might need to do this extra step. You need to change the port number in the SSH socket file, the listen stream, change that to the one you used before, in my case 2222, and save that. We need to reload the daemon. Do that with this command. After this, we need to restart the SSH server, so you do that with this command. Before you close this down, open up a new tab and try to connect to the server with the new port number. I'm now using SSH on the new port, so we can move on to step number 2. Alright guys, we're now ready to install Endlessh. To do that, you need a couple of dependencies. The first one is build essential and the other is libc6. So to install them, just run a normal sudo apt install. Remember to type Y whenever you're installing this. Alright guys, while we wait for this to install, please like this video and share it with your friends. It means the world to me. And if you like content like this, please consider subscribing, as this means I can keep making great content for you guys. On with the content. Alright, it's done, so I'm just gonna clear this one. What we need to do now is clone the Endlessh repository from Git. Just use a normal git clone. Then we need to cd into the Endlessh. Inside here, we'll use the make command to make the project. With this done, you can start Endlessh to check that it works. What you're going to do is run the sudo /endlessh-v -p and the port number. In my case, I used port 22. And as you can see, Endlessh is now started. To test that Endlessh worked, open a new tab and type the SSH command in without the new port number. It will default to the port 22 if this is what you've chosen. Endlessh will now start to put out a new banner line for every 10 seconds. This is the default settings and we'll be able to change that later. But for now, just make sure it works. If you can see the banner lines, it works perfectly and you're ready to move on to step 3. In the next step, we're going to set Endlessh up as a service so it always works even if you reboot. To configure Endlessh as a service on your Ubuntu, we need to do a couple of things first. Firstly, we're going to move the compiled binary into the bin folder. You do that by using this command. Next step is to create the service file. We need to copy the service from the Endlessh folder. Next step is to configure the Endlessh service to run on ports below 1024. Do that by opening the configuration file. Inside this file, you'll see this. You want to run Endlessh to bind on ports less than 1024. So we need to uncomment this line and comment the following line. We need to use setcap on the internet privileged ports. You do that by using this command. Next step is to create a folder for the config file for Endlessh. I'll do this in the etc folder, and then I'll create a config file inside the Endlessh folder I just created. Inside this folder, just set the port number I need it to run on. And with that done, we're ready to start the Endlessh service. You do that by running this command, and the -- now enables it to persist even after a reboot. And with that, we can check the status of the Endlessh SSH. If you see something like this, it means it's running, and we're ready to test it again. Open up a new terminal tab and try to connect with the SSH. If you do see this again, it means you're connected to Endlessh. Alright guys, you're now ready to trap hackers in your server. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please like the video down below. Consider subscribing if you like tech videos like this, and it makes it possible for me to keep making great videos for you guys. Let me know in the comments what you're working on. I would love to see your projects. I'll see you in the next one.